What's up, guys? Welcome to the video you've been waiting for if you're interested in Autism on the Seas. This is Sandy.
Hi, everybody.
And we are going to be talking about your questions, the questions that you guys asked from what we posted on social media. I think it was Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We posted for you guys to ask us questions, so I'm pulling questions from there. Also, down in the comments section, if you have more questions, ask them there, and somebody from Autism on the Sea staff is going to do their best to go through and answer all of your questions. They promised me they would do that. Okay, let's get started. Okay, first off, do you want to introduce yourself and who you are and what you do and how long you've been here, all that?
Yeah, of course. I'm Sandy. I'm from the Atlanta area. I am a retired educator. I was taught in the classroom and also an administrator at elementary school level. And I've been working with and volunteering with Autism on the Seas for 3 years. In fact, this is my 34th cruise.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
34 cruises
34.
in 3 years.
Disney next week.
So you were a volunteer?
I'm a volunteer, yes.
That's awesome. And what do you do for Autism on the Seas? Now, what's your current level, I guess?
Yeah, so we have volunteers, and then I serve as a group leader, so I help coordinate with the parents and then also with the staff alongside Royal Caribbean or whichever cruise line we're on at that week.
Cool. Okay, so let's jump into the questions now that you know who Sandy is and that she's clearly capable of answering these questions with that many cruises under your belt. The big one that I saw more than anything, I think, so this one comes from AllieGirl72. She said, what kind of training does respite staff receive?
That's a great question. Well, we do, before we even come onto the ship, we do all kinds of training with our staff. We have modules that we go through, and then we also read the questionnaires about the kids and what their likes and dislikes are so that we prepare the room for them so that we have sensory toys and things that they enjoy.
And I think there's some confusion there because the staff aren't trained in they're not coming into this unknowing. These are a lot of, are they all professionals?
Right. Yes,
or?
They're all professionals. They all come with a background and special needs in some way. Anything from working with ABA to, everything you can imagine. So they're well trained, and they have to go through an extensive interview process, and we have to make sure they're totally qualified so that they're ready to serve. And it's not just autistic kids. I know you know that, but it's any kid that has a special need.
Right. Okay, so that leads us into our next question, which was from Mackenzie's in Knott. Is it just for the kids with ASD, or can other kids with developmental delays go?
Any kid with any special need. We've had everyone from medically fragile children, cerebral palsy, it could be deaf, hard of hearing, it could be mobility, it could be any type of special need a kid has. It's not just autism.
Yeah, and I know on our cruise, I don't know that all the kids had autism, but I would say that most did. But there were varying levels of support needs per kid.
Yes, from very high functioning to nonverbal to, anything and everything in between. But they're all kids, and we just serve them the way they are.
Yeah. Now that's an interesting statement because kids, we use that term as well. A lot of them are also adults.
Yes, exactly. And we serve from the ages of 3 through adulthood. Okay. My youngest has been 3, and my oldest has been 55.
Wow, that's awesome. So there you go. That answers one of the questions already. 3 to yes. Okay, so getting into kind of the meat and potatoes here.
Okay.
Pat and Maddie said one thing you think they could improve on, or one thing you think they could change to make the experience more inclusive. So Priscilla and I were actually talking about this when we closed out today's vlog, our last vlog of the cruise. We gave Autism on the Seas and Royal Caribbean a 10 out of 10.
Oh, that's awesome.
Absolute best experience. That doesn't mean there aren't, I've actually talked to you guys about one of the things that Priscilla and I discussed was the activities off the ship. So when you go on the excursions that you book, this is a whole big issue because there are hundreds of excursions on dozens and dozens of available cruises. So getting to each one of them, and what we don't expect you to have trained staff in Jamaica from some Jamaican-owned company,
right?
But what we would love to see is information on autism, because that's what we faced was a lack of understanding of what autism was when we went on our catamaran excursion. That would just be super helpful to us as parents. Is it necessary? Probably not even, but it would be super helpful if they just even had a pamphlet, you know?
I agree. I totally agree with you. I think that's really good because it's building awareness and telling them what autism is and what can you do. In fact, we actually have something that we provide the dining room staff, an autism awareness card, so we could certainly do that with our excursions too.
Right.
That's great feedback.
So, leading into that, this wasn't a question that I found in there, but how do you guys work with the staff on the cruises preparing for us showing up?
Are you talking about our staff?
No, the Royal Caribbean staff.
Caribbean staff. Well, actually, there's a lot of work that goes in behind the scenes before we actually arrive. So they prepare the conference rooms for us. They know if any of our kids have any dietary needs. So that's already worked out. They're fully aware of that before we get here. So they do a lot of that. They know how many kids we're going to have and what. We also do all the private venue things. So all of that is worked out prior to getting here. So when I arrive, I just confirm all the things. So they do a lot of background things before we arrive.
And it's so refreshing, you know, as parents to come in and sit down like for, you know, in the dining room that we're assigned to and they just already know.
Right,
you know, we don't have to go through the whole explanation of things. It's just refreshing. It's nice. We're used to it. We have no problem doing it, but it is a nice change from the norm.
It is really so. And then I have to compliment the entertainment team and also the sports staff that's especially on our Royal Caribbean cruises. They're prepared when we come. They already know what our kids are going to be like. They already know what accommodations they need or need to provide. So they're so excited when we arrive because they're so passionate about serving our kids too. So it's a great experience.
Alex Reeds 96 says, "Did you have fun?" Well, a 10 out of 10. Yes, we are a little brokenhearted going home, so.
You have the cruise flu. You want to keep going.
I'm telling you, we so badly do. Like we were talking about it, and just having something that's so inclusive for the entire family. There was nothing. There's no gentle way to say this, but there was nothing that we missed out on because of Abigail's disability as a family. There was nothing that she missed out on because we're dragging her around to things that she doesn't want to attend because we can do those things during respite and it was inclusive for everyone. Every member of the family had a fantastic vacation.
That's good.
Because you guys exist. So
that's awesome.
And I'm pretty sure that's your intention.
Absolutely. And one of the things I think when you hear Autism on the Seas, you think it's just for your special needs kid, but it's not. It's for the whole family. So when we do anything private, we want the whole family to come. And even if the kid's not going to do it Rockwall, we'll let mom and dad or let brother and sister. So we want to include the whole family.
Right. You guys had they had rescheduled the flow rider for Isaiah because he wasn't able to be there because we were on an excursion, but he didn't end up doing it, but that's okay. I don't know that he really wanted to that bad. He was a little worried about getting tossed.
Getting knocked down.
So Me+2 says, "We want to go on a cruise so bad, but my oldest is an eloper and loves water. We are terrified he would jump over. How many buddies can he get, and what are the precautions that they take?"
That's a great question, especially around the pool. I get that question a lot. So what we usually do is we do some zones so we know who's going to be there, and we already know who our elopers are. So we already plan for them. And then we have staff that are standing outside the pool areas, also on the inside of the pool area. So we're ready for anybody that is changing from the hot tub to the pool, and we're there for them. And the other thing is that we really make sure for safety reasons that we are on the decks that have no open decks. Then when we're transferring from one place to another, it's extremely safe.
Yeah, I didn't know that until actually tonight when I was talking to Chris about it. She said it's you guys' policy that they're transferring, if they're transitioning from one place to another, you don't do an open deck.
No, we never do an open deck.
And when it is an open deck activity, like with the parents, that it's her job to stay in between the child and the edge of the boat, basically.
Right. And then the other thing you need to know is even when you're in the dining room, like if anyone needs to go out to the restroom, we always take 2 people. And then we also have ratios. If we have more than 2, we take more than 2 staff. So we're always staying in compliance for safety for the kids.
Right.
We also have something that we have for the parents that called I Need Help card. So if ever a parent is by themselves, maybe they're at the pool relaxing with their kid and then they need help, they can present that to any crew member and they can call and we'll come and support them right there.
That's really cool. Yeah, Abby had that on the back of her badge the whole time, just in case.
Yeah.
Okay, so some of the stuff was in the vlogs, as far as what you guys do, wasn't presented accurately because each experience is different per family.
Exactly.
In particular, like we went on excursions on our own as a family, and not all families do that. So Casey Dimalig said, do they have other specific activities for just the families of Autism on the Sea children with autism, or do they just offer respite care? So I was thinking about like the beach excursions that you guys do in port.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, those are really fun. So if on a 5-day cruise, we usually do one staff beach excursion. 7-day and more, we usually do 2. And what that means is that we will plan out where we're going to be going to the beach, and then we will actually meet together as a group, and as the families and the staff, we walk off the ship together. We get priority walking off so that we can get in front of the crowds if we need to, and then we actually walk them to transportation or to the beach, which if it's close by, and then there at the beach we serve the families there too, and then we come back.
And then on the ship, there are regular scheduled activities.
Oh, all day.
Swimming, like we went swimming twice, and then we went, we did the ice skating thing.
Yes.
There are just activities. Is it every day there's a couple, right?
Yeah, every day there's a couple.
Group.
Absolutely. Yeah. So on sea days, we do 2 respite sessions, and those are usually 2 hours long in sessions. So one in the afternoon and one in the evening. And then I don't know if you remember this, but one night we also do a dinner respite, which is a 3-hour block, which gives the parents a chance to go out and have a dinner
date
night, or just to have a night to yourself. So a little bit of a longer block.
Right.
But yes, we do private sessions for everything.
So you do still have your kids like on the sea days. You still have your kids for 20 hours out of the day, but you do get 4 hours of respite during that time, in that large group setting, and it's and lots of stuff to do, and like we showed you guys, Abby requested it all day long. She just loved going.
We had fun.
Yeah, and one thing Isaiah made the comment of was like he was worried, or just thought about leaving his sister in a room while we went off and had fun. And like the stuff that she would have no desire to do what we were doing. She had fun doing what she was doing.
Yeah, and
so
a lot
it
of
worked
times,
perfectly.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And a lot of times I won't call it respite. I'll call it kids club, because it's very similar to what the other kids are getting. So it's kids club. So it's kind of it's respite. What we call respite is adults, but more fun for them.
Because they offer child care on the ship
they do.
already for children without special needs.
Right.
So this is a similar situation.
Yes, and let me address that, because that's a really good question. Because sometimes people say, can my kid go to the kids club? Yes, they can. They can, especially, I can speak for Royal Caribbean. They are very accommodating, and then they will work out situations where the kid can come if they can. They're pretty independent and can come and participate in their kids club also. So you could actually have respite with us and in the kids club for kids that are able to do that.
Right. Awesome. Okay, Beth Arnold says, what's the best part about working for Autism on the Seas?
Oh, Beth, that's an easy question to answer, because one is you get to do your passion for serving families and serving kids, and the volunteers love it. They can be working from 8 in the morning to 10 at night. They are always full of energy and always ready to serve the kids, and they love it. The relationships and the trust that's built between the parents and the kids is almost just magical, and it happens so quickly. But that's the best part, is getting to see the families enjoying themselves and getting them to make priceless memories that they may not have ever had if they hadn't had just a little bit of support to come alongside them.
I've never seen them not smiling.
Yeah, exactly.
So
they
not
love it.
in a good mood, not saying, I've never seen them not, or seen them in the morning, they didn't say good morning, and just, happy to be there. So here's the $1 million question.
Okay.
Well, it's not $1 million, but Naomi Roach says, how much is the increase in cost for their services? How often do they provide services during the cruise? We did cover that as far as respite and stuff. Are they the same attendees, or is there a new one each day, etc.? Okay, so as far as attendees for the children. So that's a little different too, because we have a one-on-one. I don't know how it works. Like, we paid for the one-on-one, who was Chris, who you guys met. How does that work with do the same people that kind of hang with them during respite and that kind of thing?
Well, yeah, that is true. So basically what we have is what we call a Team Orange. So it's a group of a staff of volunteers. So let's say 6 or so, and usually the ratio is around 1 to 2, usually 1 to 2, 1 to 3 staff per kid. And then if someone has acquired a one-on-one, that one-on-one primarily does everything the regular staff does. They just stay with that particular child during respite, during pool, during excursions. The Team Orange, then we take care of all the other kids together. So we just work with whatever their specialty is or whatever the kids enjoy, and we are always the same throughout the cruise. So we work with all of them.
And how much does that cost to have your Team Orange? Not doing the respite, just a standard like a 7-day cruise, let's say.
Like a fee?
Yes.
What's the fee for that?
Yes. What is the cost over the
overall
cruise?
Okay.
Not counting the actual, because so Autism on the Seas, if you're not aware, is very much like a special needs travel agency for special needs families. And so you have the cost of the cruise, you have the cost of your room, you have the cost of your packages, all that. So what is the additional cost
fee
for Autism on the Seas?
Okay. All right. So the fee basically is you have the price of the cruise, and then it's $20 to $30 per family member per day additional.
Okay.
To add in the volunteer support.
Okay.
For that, and then a little extra if you're going to have a one-on-one.
Right.
With your child.
So the one-on-one was how much, Priscilla?
$490.
$490 for the week for the one-on-one. So something to keep in mind: Autism on the Seas can help you with all of this, but there's financial aid available.
Yes.
There, you can use a med waiver, which med waiver is Florida, but there are programs in every state similar to the med waiver in order to pay for these services. So keep that in mind. Definitely contact Autism on the Seas about what financial options are available for you.
Yes, and if you look at the website, it's very easy to access it. It's like financial assistance, talks about our foundation also, and you can get some more information there on the website.
Perfect. Here's a good one.
All
Kelly
right.
Hill, SC, South Carolina, maybe, said, did you feel the daily activities on the ship were well planned out? Did you feel you were treated differently because you were doing a review? Ooh. What an amazing experience for you and your family. Is it something you would do again? I love Royal Caribbean. Okay, so the first part, did you feel activities on the ship were well planned out? Do you want to just go through like a day?
Yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to tell about a typical day. So it starts off by we do breakfast in the morning, usually from 8 to 9 o'clock, and that's with staff assistants. And then from there, we do the highlight of the day for most kids on a sea day. That's the pool time. So we do pool time for an hour and a half. About that time
Pretty
frame.
flexible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we hung out a little bit longer than that.
I know. That pool's a lot of fun,
Yeah.
especially those slides. And then after that, we'll have staff-assisted lunch with a short break for the staff, then come right back in on a sea day for 2 hours of respite. And then we have dinner. And then sometimes in there, we usually have private events, whether it's rock climbing or ice skating or the dry slide. We usually have an activity built in too. Then we have dinner, and then we have respite again in the evening. So we have a very full day, and I have to remind the parents sometimes, this is your vacation, so you decide when do you want to come to breakfast and what do you want to participate in, because there's so much to do.
Yeah, we definitely didn't do all the things. I doubt we did half the things, but it was nice because we didn't feel like we had to. But the events that we did attend, like ice skating, it was like we had the whole place to ourselves. It was so cool. So is it well planned? Yes, I would say it is. Everything is taken into account.
Right, and you remember you
planning.
get 2 schedules a day. So you get one schedule from us, so you know when all the support's going to be provided. And then you also get a cruise schedule so that you can look at both and determine what you would like to do.
So bring your highlighters so you can highlight the activities.
Bring those highlighters.
Highlighters. Priscilla brought her highlighters.
I use it too.
She brought like 50
I love it.
highlighters,
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
She may even have several colors. Yes.
Did you
See?
feel you were treated differently because you were doing a review? Yes, but not on the professional side of it. Not like what was provided for us or provided for Abigail or any of that. I don't feel that way at all. The only thing that was different was our communication with the staff, because we're talking about, I'd get questions from you guys and I wanted an answer myself. I'm like, that's a good question. So we talk about it, we discussed the business side of things, Priscilla and I, after hours, so to speak, talking about things. So I think we've, developed a little more personal of a relationship with you guys because of that, because we were working together on this. But as far as the services, no. I mean, we got the same thing everybody else did. I know because they were there. So, yeah.
You were
but,
always there together.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all.
That's awesome.
I feel like it was very fair across the board for everyone. I think the only time that people didn't take opportunity of an event or something is when they didn't want to. I mean, nobody was left out of anything.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And which was great because a lot of times we're not getting up that early for breakfast. It's not happening.
Exactly. I hear that a lot sometimes, and that's okay because you're on vacation.
Yeah.
Sleep in if you want to sleep in, and then come on down to the pool.
So the last part was, is this something you would do again? Yeah. We are cruisers now, I think.
All right.
I think, you could, speaking of money, if you really look at what you spend going to Disney or someplace like that, right? Big, you go for a week somewhere to someplace that has, you're not going to find a place that has this much stuff going on. But even if you could find that place, the cost of it, it's a good vacation.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm sold. I didn't think I would like it either. So it took a lot of years for Priscilla to convince us to go on a cruise.
And now you're part of Team Orange and the family.
That's
You're ready to come again.
That's right. So this one I was like, oh, I don't know. There's a good answer for this, but Riandy Cap said, what happens if the autistic individual does not take being on the sea so well? Is there a plan to get them back home, or are there enough activities to occupy them? Well, I can answer the second part. There's definitely enough activities going on. Like you said, whether it's shipboard or with Autism on the Seas, there's enough going on. But have you had a situation?
Yeah, in fact, that's something that sometimes I get a question from parents prior to going to the cruise. And so what we do a lot of is we send resources out to the parents. So if they want PECs, to use to help their kids prepare to go on the cruise, or if they want a social story, or we have all kinds of things like that we use prior to coming to the cruise. And then we also, if we have a kid that's feeling anxious about something, then we'll work with them to help if we need a daily schedule, if that's something that they're used to, whatever they use that helps them, then we'll be glad to help them support that kid in that way.
And I think, and a lot of you guys know, Abigail's level of anxiety that she experiences and how that's increased as she's gotten older. And she was good by the beginning of the second day. She was golden. And that seems to be the norm from what I've heard from you guys, is that first day you get a lot of really anxious kids, but by the second and sometimes even the third day, they're golden.
But let's talk about that for a second, because it does calm down. But every kid's a kid, and sometimes they might find something that does make them anxious. And then even if they have a moment and they have a meltdown, it's no big deal. We just work with that kid right there and stay with them and work them through it, and then we just pick up and go on from there, because they're going to have their meltdowns. And if they need help support transitioning from one place to the other, whether we need to come help from the room to the pool or back from respite down to the room, we're willing to do that too. We're there to help the parents with transitions also.
Glass elevators.
Abby's
been terrified of glass elevators for years. She, no joke, she can stand in the middle of the elevator without holding the rail now and watch as we go up. Doesn't bother her at all.
No.
It's unbelievable. I don't know what it is. I'm telling you, we're cruisers now. So Alicia Sweetheart said, now that you have experienced Autism on the Seas, do you ever think you could go cruise again, but without Autism on the Seas? I understand that Autism on the Seas makes it easier, but wouldn't you want to try venturing out as a family on your own? So that's a really good question. No, I don't think we would do it without Autism on the Seas. I mean, okay, we would do it without, you guys know that we're all, we're adventurous. If we had to, but if we have the option to, we absolutely would do it with Autism on the Seas, because like I said, it's better for everyone, and especially for Abigail. It's better for her, but we all have a more relaxing vacation as a family, and she just has a better time. So as far as venturing out on a family as our own, we definitely did that. You can venture out as much as your heart desires. You want to go snorkeling in Jamaica or off-road Jeep driving in Mexico, obviously you can do that. So Yeah, but we'll be doing it with Autism on the Seas next time.
That's awesome.
I guarantee it. Daddy Scribble says, "Are you only operating in the U.S.?"
Well, that is a really great question because
I had a lot of that same question.
highlight flashes. No, now we're also going to Europe. This will be the second year that we'll be headed out to
That's
Europe.
awesome.
So yeah, many more to come, I hope.
So make sure you guys are following Autism on the Seas, Facebook, all the social media platforms, all that. Make sure you're following them there because that's where you're going to get your information.
Yeah.
I will put links for all their stuff down below. Was there anything else that we missed? I know you guys have had a ton of questions. Like I said, if we didn't answer your question, just leave it down below.
Absolutely.
Somebody with Autism on the Seas will answer it for you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
We enjoyed it.
You're great at this. You should you guys should start. Mike, you gonna start a YouTube channel? You guys could. look, guys. I have these two behind us over here. They're like, no, don't say that. Don't say that. All right, guys. We will see you next time. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I hope
We're
I
gonna
did
miss you guys.
okay.
We're really gonna miss you. Bye, guys. Hey, we're back. So one more thing we want to touch on. Priscilla said there were quite a few comments on it, but it talked about
About being nervous about dropping your child off with someone you didn't know.
Right.
And you just think about it like these people are all teachers and therapists. You drop them off at the first day of school,
Yeah.
it's the same thing.
Same
and there's
thing.
a lot of people around. They're never left with them by themselves.
Yep.
So no, I never felt uncomfortable with that at all.
There's always that awkward, initial, you're telling them what, things that weren't included on your
Right.
paperwork you filled out, or your kid might do something like, oh, they mean this, or they're saying that. There's always that part of it.
Right.
But that's with every respite, with every therapist, with every
Yeah.
teacher.
I mean, we take Abby to camp, and those are kids
Yeah.
that we're dropping her off with. So
Yeah.
no, and
Don't-
we're right here.
Don't
Like,
worry, guys. Don't
yeah.
worry. Okay, bye.